successful. We'll have a business that is growing year after year after year. And I really firmly do believe there's never been a better time in the history of the world to do that. But, but it's actually simple. Simple, not easy. Not easy in the fact that you guys have to get good at marketing. Not good that you have to take it seriously. Not good that you have to learn how to do this. And nobody likes doing it. I totally get that. Okay. I mean, I run the marketing department here. Truth be told, I don't even like doing it. Okay. Posting on socials on a regular basis, content marketing, right? Running sales, all the things that you have to do. But I don't know what the alternative is. I don't know what the alternative is because of all the tens of thousands of artists and photographers that have come through these Zoom sessions in the last 3 years, there are maybe one or two that were doing great in the gallery. And I saw specifically, like right when COVID hit and all those gallery people got closed up, those people were flooding into these Zooms going, what do I do? I've got nothing. My income's done, right? It was terrifying. The road warriors are the road warriors. And then there's nothing else. There's nothing else. Like, I've had like 6 people tell me they make more $10,000 a year on Saatchi, Fine Art America, Redbubble. I've had a couple of people on Etsy that are doing like $20,000 or $30,000 a year, but I haven't heard anyone else. So when you realize those odds, and please don't take it cynically, like this is only going to happen for you if you sign up at Art Storefronts. I don't care where you sign up or what you do, but I do care that if you want to take this business seriously and you want to see it growing year after year, it's the 2 trains, 2 tracks, no brakes. 2 trains, 2 tracks, no brakes. Okay. Now that rant is over with, I called this thing a Q Thorpe boot camp, and I love the marathon analogy. All right, I hate running. I will never sign up for a marathon in my life, but I know some people that have, and there's one thing that you notice about those people that sign up for the marathon. As soon as you fill out that form for that miserable activity, your whole life changes. Why? You know the pain is coming. You start eating a little bit better. You start training and taking your exercising more seriously. You start getting better sleep. If it's me, you work on that drinking habit that you have, right? All of these things in your life, you start taking more seriously. And my contention, having been in this business for close to 10 years now and having seen what goes on in Q4 the last 3 months of the year, it's a marathon that you're signed up for, whether you know it or not. And the training that you do between now and then, between the fourth quarter, the buying season, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the roll up to Christmas, all of those sales that are in the water, all throughout that. More art, more photography is sold in the fourth quarter than the other 3 quarters combined almost sometimes. Like our customers that do it well have a good year based on what that fourth quarter is. And so my contention is that you're signed up for that marathon whether you know it or not. And the question is, what are you going to start doing between now and then? What are you going to start doing between now and then to get ready? Because if it's wait until things start getting colder, kids are back at school, you're running around like a crazy person, next thing you know it's Thanksgiving. I gotta have a sale. And then you post something on Facebook and send an email to 6 people. Not gonna be good. Not gonna be good, right? So we need to start training now, right? We need to start getting our businesses in order now. And there's a number of different ways that you can approach that and that you can contemplate it. But step 1 in all of it is have it in the back of your head. It's coming. What you do between now and then is going to dictate the level of success that you have, and it is the most important time of the year to be selling. Without question, not even close. And you have to have your art up on the website. You have to start working on an email list. You have to start marketing regularly and consistently on the social media platforms. If you do that now, you're gonna wake up come October and you're gonna be like, oh, got a little momentum in my back. Things actually look pretty good here. People actually know who I am, and I have the ability to market and run some sales when Black Friday and Cyber Monday comes along. So very, very important to understand that happens every single solitary year. Every year it is absolutely fantastic in terms of sales, in terms of art and photography. So all very, very important. Pricing is another big one. And pricing is one of my favorite topics in this business period, right? And do you know what I love more than anything else? All the bullshit advice that's out there based on pricing. Here's the formula that you use for pricing. It's material cost times square inch times media times your time. Yeah, okay, great. Thanks for that. Magic, really. The only thing that matters is whether or not the art sells. There is no magical formula that's going to help you price your art if the art doesn't sell, which is why all of those formulas are nonsense. Pricing is quite simply this. And it's awesome and it's freeing. And once you do it and once you realize this lesson, and I have like a really in-depth article on this and I'm going to send it to all of you. You creative types need to have prices from 0 to 100. You need to have prices from 100 to 1,000. You need to have prices over 1,000. And you need to have one thing in the shop that is obscenely expensive. Okay? Now let me break that all down with some real numbers. The 0 to 100 is really, really easy, especially if you're reproducing your artwork in terms of prints. But you also have to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup. Okay? It can't just be wall art. And the reason is that not everybody is ready to buy wall art all the time. And so you're out there, you're doing your marketing, you're getting your art, your photography in front of people, and they're like, wow, I really like this person. I really like their creativity. Problem, I'm not in the market for art right now. I want to reward this person for their talent, but I'm not in the market for art right now. If only they had something that was non-wall art related. Oh, they don't. Tell you what, I'll make a mental note to come back here. I'm going to go watch some cat videos, and you know what the masks do there, right? They're not coming back. They're never coming back. So the importance of having the non-wall art is so critical. No one talks about this enough. A business, specifically your guys' businesses, can be judged how well they are growing on one metric and one metric alone: the number of new customers you are acquiring per year. The number of new customers you are acquiring per year. Why? Why? Because the easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. It is significantly easier to get somebody to come back and purchase a second time than it is to go out and find a new person and have them purchase for the first time. And this is just a fundamental rule of most businesses, but specifically this business. And I alluded earlier to how important it is to not sell in galleries so that you know who is purchasing your work. There is a phenomenon in here. I stole it from this guy, so I always give him credit. Hold on, I'm going to grab his book. I stole this from Weiland, okay? Weiland is the whale guy. Most would say the best-selling artist in the United States. By the way, this book, fire! Okay? Insane. Amazing. You need to go buy it. Honestly, I should be on commission for this. In fact, he's got a gallery close to where I live. I'm going to go in there and get it. Short, sweet, no fluff. I'm sorry, here it is. But the rub is it's not on Amazon. I think he donates 100% of the proceeds to charity, so you have to buy it from his website. But honestly, Google this book and buy this book. Weiland defines a collector as someone that will purchase in upwards of 7+ pieces of art from him over the course of a lifetime. And this is a phenomenon I see played out continually with my own customer base. But when you have collectors, it's a phenomenon of this business, right? Like there's certain product categories that have collectors, right? If you ask my 7-year-old kid, it's those damn Pokemon cards. They're all over my floor right now. You guys would laugh if you saw these. But shoes, cars, wristwatches, art is one of them. And it's a fantastic thing because you will keep creating throughout the course of your life. And these collectors will just go along for the ride. You keep raising prices, they keep coming and buying and buying and buying. Oh, that's awesome. Emma just said that book is on Spotify for free. I did not know that. Definitely listen to it. You want to highlight it, though. I'm not kidding. Great book. Where was I going with all that? So if we know the most important thing an art business can have is a collector, and then we know in order for a collector to become a collector, they first have to purchase something, that underscores how important it is to have non-wall art as a part of the lineup, okay? That's the 0 to 100 range. Also in there, you obviously have small prints. And then let's say you're 100 to 1,000, you get into some bigger size prints, right? Your metals, your canvas, your acrylic, you go through that 0 to 1,000 range, and maybe close to the 1,000 range, you're in limited editions, and then above that, you have your originals. Everyone has to adjust it a little bit to taste. But you also need something obscenely expensive in the store. And let's say that you sell your originals, just to keep the math simple, at like $1,000. I want one in there for 10 grand. And why? Why one in there for 10 grand? That's crazy. I'm never going to sell that thing. I don't even care if you don't ever sell that thing. You ever been to a car dealership? And you know, in the car dealership, that the big glass box in the middle, I know the car dealership is a miserable feeling in most people's heads because you have to deal with the salespeople. But anyway, the big glass box in the middle, right? Let's say we're at the Toyota dealership. In that big glass box in the middle is the Toyota Supra carbon fiber TRD whatever. It's $275,000, right? There's a reason that they put those cars inside the glass box, and it's because human beings are wired to make purchase decisions based on comparison. We anchor onto certain things to compare to other certain things. And so when we go and look at that $250,000 Supra or the $150,000 Land Cruiser that's inside the glass box, we anchor onto that price point, and it makes us feel just that much better about buying the $60,000 Highlander, right? That's on the outside. And that's a phenomenon called price anchoring. And it's just one of these psychological things that's really, really, really important to do. You feel better knowing that I didn't buy the most expensive thing. It makes you feel a little bit better. That's why you put that high-priced item in there. Also, everyone's followers, yours, mine, any business, that all fall into a thing that I call the socioeconomic bell curve, okay? It's your typical bell curve, exactly what you'd expect. And down at the low end of it, you have the low socioeconomic status. Those people can't afford anything. They'll like, comment, share on your post. They're still good people. Then you have lower income folks, middle class, upper middle class, high net worth individuals, the bell curve, right? You know, what does everyone always say to me all the time? Yeah, I just want to target high net worth buyers. Yeah, good. That's great. You and every other business on the planet, aside from the 99-cent store, wants to target the high net worth buyers, okay? That is why it's insanely difficult to do that. But the point is, you need to have this range of pricing that I'm discussing to be able to cover all of the spots on that bell curve. Because what happens when you do that is you acquire the highest number of customers possible. And the beautiful thing about acquiring the highest number of customers possible is you can market to these folks in the future. The bell curve is not a fixed entity. Your buyers and potential buyers are going up and down that bell curve their entire lives. The one that's living in their mother's basement right now is buying their new house 2 years from now. And you got that sale. Do you want to know why you got that sale? Because you sold them a mug or a mouse pad or a calendar or a whatever, and it sat on their fridge. It could be a sticker, okay, that's on my garage fridge with all the rest of the stickers. And every time I go out to get a beer, which is an enjoyable experience for me, I look at your art, okay? Now I've moved out of my mother's basement and I'm going to go buy a house, and you got that sale. And that's how it works. And I get a lot of pushback on the merch. Okay, I'm a fine artist, Patrick. I would never sell that merch, that cheap tchotchke crap. I'm not doing that. To which I respond, let me know the last time any of you went to a museum that didn't have a gift shop. I'll wait. Okay, if Van Gogh's Starry Night is on the wall, and you can also buy a Starry Night poster in the gift shop for $22 plus tax, I'm pretty sure Van Gogh's not losing any sleep over it. Technically, he's really asleep. He's dead. But you get the point, okay? You get the point. You ever been to a concert that hasn't had merch? I don't think so, okay? The Rolling Stones, take your pick, okay? Merch is very, very important in the simple lens that you acquire more customers as a result of it. So having that price range is huge. What is one of the most defeating things that happens to artists and photographers out there? You worked hours on a piece. I mean, hours. It took so much time. You're going to sell this thing for $800. And what happens? Someone's like, yeah, that's beautiful. Would you take $25 for it? Oh, you're just deflated, right? Like this person is just, I mean, it's like a troll on social media. I mean, they have just ruined your entire day. The beautiful thing is, when you have the range of pricing, it doesn't happen as much. It almost doesn't happen at all. Because people understand, they have a context of where things are in your lineup. Oh, this is $100 and under. Oh, this is $100 to $1,000. Oh, this is over $1,000. Oh, that's the $5,000 piece. And what's more, when you get those folks who don't know any better, okay, most of them are not bad people. They just don't know any better. You can be like, oh, that's fantastic. I love that you have the interest. That one costs quite a bit more, but let me show you what is in your range. And then we gently guide them to where we are in our range. Do you know how much better that is for your self-esteem? Okay, let me tell you, significantly better. It is significantly better for your self-esteem. You are going to be a happier and better functioning member of society, okay? Your significant other is like, this is awesome. Why are you in such a good mood? It's because you have the range of pricing. Very, very important. That's pricing. I'm going to send you a follow-up article on it after this whole thing's over. In addition to the pricing, the next thing I want to talk about is Instagram. Most important social network for artists and photographers. It's not even close. Secondarily, it's Facebook. Okay, have to be working on both of them. Well, Patrick, what about TikTok, or what about Pinterest, or what about SEO? Yeah, what about shiny objects that are not going to move your business anywhere and are going to put you on the road to a hobby? All right, that's what all the rest are. I don't care what anyone else says, anyone's friends, anyone. No one is selling art on any of the rest of those things, okay? They are lying to you if they're saying they are. It's nonsense. I've looked at way too much data. Aside from onesies, twosies here with weird circumstances, the two most important places that you need to be are Instagram and secondarily Facebook. And thank God for that. Okay, don't talk to me about TikTok. I'll kick you right out of this Zoom. You are lying to yourself. Okay. Stupid Chinese app, communist app that is just trying to flood you with an endorphin hit. You got 10,000 views. You didn't get 10,000 views. You got 100 views from people that are never going to buy your work. Okay. So when we stay focused on the only two platforms that matter, to the detriment of wasting time on any of the rest of those ones. I don't care. I don't care. Just stay out of there. Stay in my lane. Facebook and Instagram, Instagram and Facebook. You will end up winning. And why is Instagram the most important? What do you guys create? You create visual creations. What is Instagram? A giant visual search engine. Imagine that. Lines up pretty nicely, right? The beautiful thing is that Instagram has become, over the years, evolved into the credit check for artists and photographers. What do I mean by that? I'm going to buy something. I saw something. My neighbor had something. It's really important for me to keep up with the Jones. I'm going to go look at what he got. And what am I doing? I'm going instantaneously to Amazon. I'm going to read the reviews. Was that thing good? Is there a better one? Maybe there's a better one. Maybe I can one up this guy because I got to keep up with the Jones. Now, we check Amazon is a way of getting credit checks, like getting the reviews of what something is, right? So you could say Consumer Reports or some of the other sites too. For artists and photographers, it's like, hey, I just saw this. I'm at your friend's house. You sold some art to your friend. I saw that. That's a great piece. Who did that? Oh, yeah, it's my buddy. It's my cousin, Mark McClanahan over there. And you should check him out. You know what they're going to do? They're going to pull out Instagram, and they're going to look for you, and they're going to look at your profile, and are they going to say, is this an artist that's doing anything? Is this an artist that's putting out content regularly? Are they on the up and up? Do they have 2 followers or 2,000 followers, right? And it's very, very important to understand, one, that Instagram offers a credit check, okay? So fundamentally, it's important just for that matter. 2, secondarily, and I should also say, like, you know, the data in this industry is so utterly, totally, completely opaque, right? Like, there's so much nonsense out there, it's mind-boggling. But there's 2 outfits that report on the super high end of the art market. One's the Hiscox Group, it's an insurance entity out of London, and the other is Art Basel teams up with UBS Payne Weber, I think. I think that's who it is. The 2 of them put out a report, and what they do is they survey every year all of the folks that are essentially buying $100,000 pieces and up. And every single solitary year, I've watched the results of those reports when it comes out, and every year it ticks up. Did you follow and or consume content from an artist on Instagram? Was Instagram influential in your buying decision? And in both cases, both of their surveys, like, those percentages are really pretty high. So it's significant in its ability to help you guys sell art. The top end, high end buyers are all there. Okay. So that makes it very important as well. The beautiful thing about Instagram is you can reach a ton of buyers. The terrible thing about Instagram is you have to post frequently on it for years to really make a huge dent. So yeah, 1, you got to get started. 2, you have to understand you're going to suffer in the short term, because it's not easy, and you have to learn how to do it, and you have to learn how to enjoy it and get good at it. And we can talk about that in depth. I have a ton of teaching on Instagram. But the beautiful thing that exists currently on Instagram, and I love this. Okay, we're going to have to do a little social media history lesson. But Facebook emerged. Facebook pretty much became a monopoly. Okay, power was unchecked. Then a new rising competitor came along, and Facebook is like, we can't have any competition. It was Instagram. We're going to go buy those folks. So they bought them. Okay, great. Now Facebook's even more powerful. It's Facebook and Instagram. I'm streaming on their platform when I'm saying this, so I get banned. You guys will know why. Zuckerberg kicks my door, and you'll know why. So now they own these 2 platforms. So the playbook was, we are a monopoly. If any competitors come along, we're just going to buy them. Okay. Snapchat emerges. Snapchat starts taking all of these young kids away from Facebook and Instagram. They're like, all right, what does the playbook say to do in this situation? Let me see the playbook. Market says if we have a competitor, go and buy them. All right, somebody go and buy Snapchat. So they go and try and buy Snapchat. Snapchat says pound sand. Mark's like, okay, what does the playbook say now? We don't know. He goes, all right, we're just going to copy them verbatim. And so Snapchat had these things called stories that disappeared after 24 hours, and Facebook copied them verbatim. So, okay, now Snapchat peters out. I mean, who's using that? I don't know. Some kids, whatever. It's whatever. I don't want to talk about it. The next one came along. This time it was TikTok. And Mark Zuckerberg went right back to the playbook. He's like, okay, this is awesome. TikTok is starting to steal a bunch of our users. It's competition. What should I do? Let's go try and buy them. He goes and tries and buy them again. They tell him no. He said, my wife is Chinese. Let me buy you. They still said no. So the next thing they do is they're like, okay, what is the playbook saying next? Copy them verbatim. And so that's what they did. And by the way, the other social players were watching, and now YouTube watched, and they're like, okay, let's copy them verbatim. So what did TikTok have? These short form little videos that were 120 seconds or less and were very compelling cell phone style video size. They copied that feature verbatim and called it Instagram Reels. YouTube saw that, copied that feature verbatim, called it YouTube Shorts. I could cycle through the 3 views of those 3 different products, and you could almost not tell the difference. They even put the buttons in the same place as copycats. Anyway, why it was a brilliant thing, TikTok coming along, is it destroyed what has been up to that point in time the social contract. What is a social contract? What do I mean by that? Hey, art store friends, work really hard on my platforms, Facebook and Instagram, and post a bunch of content. When you do, people will follow you and become fans. After you earn those followers and those fans, some small portion of what you create will be shown to those followers and fans for free. Early on in the days, it was like 90%. Recently, it's like 2 to 5%. Tiny, almost nothing, right? So that is what the social contract was. TikTok, God bless them, despite the fact that don't like the platform and think it's evil, has been still siphoning off users from Instagram at an alarming rate. It's all the younger kids and the people that are chasing likes that are not real and chasing views that are not real. It's a worthless platform. Anyway, so what they've done is they've torn up the social contract. So now where we are is we're in a scenario where you can get onto Instagram and you can have 2 followers, your significant other and your mother. Okay. She likes and comments on everything. God bless you. Thank you, Mom. You can create content in the form of an Instagram reel, and an Instagram reel can potentially, if it's good, be seen by hundreds, by thousands, by even millions. In which case, you organically marketing without leaving your house, showing off your creations, understanding the platform, can get free reach. It used to be you didn't get that. And it used to be you had to pay a ton of money in terms of Facebook and Instagram ads to get that attention. Now you can do that without leaving your house. And that's an incredible, incredible thing. So it represents a huge, huge opportunity. And so that's where we stand right now as it sits in 2023. I believe Instagram is the most amazing platform that exists that can bring you guys buyers, bring you guys fans, bring you guys email addresses, and yes, sell your art of photography, but you have to get good at marketing it. You have to understand how to post. You have to work on your posting frequency, and you have to learn to love it. You have to learn to love it. So that's
which does get easier with time. But you know, I'm old enough to remember coming up in the pre-internet days. I'm 44 years old, and I don't know what the alternative was back then. I mean, you were limited where you were geographically. Now, with nothing more than the phone that everybody carries around with them, you can reach, you know, a huge, huge audience without leaving your house, and that's a incredibly encouraging thing. But you got to do the work, and nobody likes that part. So that's what we talk about quite a bit. What we can do is open it up for Q&A. I can get into a bunch of things. One thing I will mention before we get into anything else is I've got a really good podcast on art marketing. It's totally free. It's on all of the different podcast networks. So anywhere you find podcasts, it's called the Art Marketing Podcast with this ugly orange logo here. Not proud of the logo, but the podcast is really good. We publish content on it weekly. It's super up to date with the latest, greatest marketing techniques, tricks, hacks. So you guys should definitely check that out. We also put these things out, the episodes out on our YouTube channel as well. And you can just search Art Storefronts on YouTube and find it if podcasts are not necessarily your jam. But I'll have a ton of content coming out on this as we get closer and closer to the big art selling holidays. And there'll be a ton of good insight on, you know, how to properly execute a sale, how to contemplate what discount percentage to use, all the various different marketing touch points, and so on and so forth. So on that note, we can open things up to Q&A. How does that work? If you are one of the brave ones that has your camera on and you have a question, you can do the old school hand raise. I'll see that. For everyone else, there's at the bottom of your, I see your hand, John. At the bottom of the Zoom window, there's this little reactions button. It's like a smiley face with a plus. If you click that thing, there's a way to raise your hand, digitally speaking. That's helpful for me because it sort of forms a queue. And if you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on. Okay. I hate being on video. I have a face for radio. If this wasn't my job, you would not have any idea what I look like, but it is my job. So don't feel like you need to turn your camera on. And then you can throw questions into the chat. And then if you're one of the ones that's watching on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, I see your comments and I can respond to those too. But John, you are up first. You just have to hit the mic icon bottom left-hand corner, and that should unmute you. Gotcha.
Yes, I really want to ask about the arts, the easiest way to market your job. I've seen what you are saying, but I have a lot of paint. I'm an artist from Nigeria. I have a lot of paintings, and I'm looking for a way to market them. And I've been art for over 45 years. So I just looking at who can handle the marketing side of it. If possible, get a dealer who can market most of my professional works.
Yeah, notwithstanding the fact that I don't really have any knowledge, obviously, of the local Nigerian market. I mean, the beautiful thing about the internet today is that anybody can be a worldwide artist, right? And so I think the marketing, despite the fact that you're in Nigeria and there's some cultural differences in Nigeria, the marketing doesn't change. It's fundamentally just about getting attention, right? So if I were you and I were in your shoes, I would keep whatever aspects of my business are working in Nigeria and however I'm going about selling that. And then I would try to get into the far more lucrative North American market, right? Oh, I think we lost him. I'm going to stop his video, see if that fixes it.
I live in Georgia.
Yeah, your audio's going in and out. John, so normally what I do in these situations is I'll stop your camera. I'm going to try and stop your camera. Yeah. And then it might be a little bit clearer. But if you, let's say you wanted to break into the North American market, right? All it takes is a website and then someone that's capable of reproducing the work and shipping them here domestically, which is one of the features that we provide. We're by no means the only one, right?
I live in Georgia.
Oh, you live in Georgia now? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I live in Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then everything applies, right? Everything applies. You could certainly get a demo with us, John. That's what we do. These sessions are just sort of educational, and then to find out everything that we offer as a business, you have to fill out the form, hit the demo button. There's a request a demo button all over our website, all over our emails, and you just fill out that form, and then someone will contact you back. And then we throw you into like a 1-hour Zoom session where we walk you through all the bells, all the whistles, all the plans, all the pricing, and all of that. That sound good?
What's your advice then? You said I should get the website, and what's the total involvement? What's the monetary involvement so I can get myself in it?
Yeah, so what I would do is we have these buttons on our website that says request a demo. Just click one of those buttons. You can go to artstorefronts.com, click one of those buttons, and fill out the form, and then we'll get in touch with you.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, John.
Thank you. Okay.
It's funny. I naturally thought you were actually in Nigeria. I feel like Nigeria has like a pretty big art scene because I've had a ton of Nigerians come on these sessions, a ton of sub-Saharan Africans just in general, which is, again, it's so interesting how international of like a world that we live in today's day and age. But who else, guys? Questions? Kim, I see your question in the chat too. Somebody was asking me on Facebook. Hold on, I got to grab the book here. The book is called Don't Be a Starving Artist, and it's by Weiland. Weiland is the whale guy. Sadly, the book's not on Amazon. It's I think you have to buy it directly from his site. Somebody said that he released the audiobook for free on Spotify. I haven't verified that, but that might be worth checking. Really, really good book. So that was to answer your question, Alex. So Kim had a question. Kim says, can you give us a clear breakdown of how your company works, right? And again, I'm clear how important it is to market, but how does your company work? Yeah. So interesting story, right? Because our and it's impossible not to take this cynically, and I get that, but it's true, so I'm just going to say it. We realized like really, really early on in our journey as a business that if our customers are not successful, they're all going to cancel their websites and leave, right? So we started out with this incredible website platform, same website platform we have today, which is better than any of the others out there for selling art. And we realized, we thought like, okay, this is going to be awesome. We're going to have this amazing business. We have the best website that exists to sell art and photography. Quickly realized that none of you guys have a website problem. You all have a marketing problem. And if we don't fix the marketing problem, then we don't go anywhere, right? And so we started out as a website platform. Then we sort of morphed into a college that teaches advanced art and business marketing, photography marketing. And at first we kind of had published textbooks, right? Like online education on how to do the various different things. Then we learned the lesson on that nobody wants to do that alone on their own at their own speed. Then we put a calendar together telling our customers what to do 365 days a year, when to post, what to post, email language, how to run sales, how to contemplate discounts, what dates, all the touch points. That was great, not enough. Then we realized that, almost all of you guys are solopreneurs, right? You're solopreneurs. You might have a significant other that's helping you and supporting you, but at the end of the day, you guys are wearing all of the hats, right? And that's a problem. It is a problem. And the analogy that I give, and I think, this is just one of the huge problems of the art and photography world in general. The analogy I like to give is like, you guys are just chefs, okay? You're chefs, and what you want is you want to have a big restaurant that's growing year after year after year, right? Okay. Well, if that was the case, right, and you're a chef, your superpower is cooking the food, coming up with new dishes, right? Like, ordering the produce and the meat from the butchers and not everything else. And yet, what do all of you guys have to do? You're taking reservations for dinner, right? You're greeting the diners at the door and leading them to their table. You're then serving the meal, right? And you're the sommelier and the bartender. And then afterwards, you're cleaning all that up and you're doing the dishes. And it's like, any chef that has to do that is inevitably going to have a restaurant that has 2 tables tops, because there's no way you could do all of the work. And it's exactly the same case with artists. And so as we look at our evolution of what we've done as a business, okay, first it was the website. Now we can facilitate commerce 24 hours a day when you're not there, when you're not around. Okay, great. Now, as the chef, you're not answering the phone and taking reservations anymore. Great. Table that. Next, we realized that what a waste of time. Artists building their own websites. You don't want to learn HTML or CSS or GoDaddy or creating things. It is a waste of time. None of you guys should be webmasters or web programmers. So then we're like, okay, we will just build 100% of our customers' websites for them. So that's how it works now. You upload images, we take care of all the rest. That's it, done. We build the entire thing because it's not a good use of your time. Now you're no longer showing diners to the table, right? Next, POD. POD has been one of the biggest godsends for this industry in history. POD stands specifically for print on demand, and whether it is the art prints or the merch that we allow you guys to sell, enable you guys to sell, there's no minimums. You don't have to do anything. An order comes in, you get paid, the printer gets paid, the order gets shipped, your logo gets slapped on the side of the box, and you don't lift a finger. You don't do anything. So now you're not the waiter anymore, right? You're not taking orders anymore. And then from there, we started tackling the marketing problem in earnest. And we're sort of at an interesting inflection point with that, right? Because what I've done over the years is teach my customers how to do this. And that was the aforementioned textbooks, right? Here's how you run a sale. Here's how you get to 1,000 followers on Instagram. Here's how you run a live art show. Here's how you email market. Here's the language that you use. So we started with that. And then I created a calendar that tells you what you should be doing all month, every month. Okay. Then we started having Zoom sessions just like these for our customers internally. We have essentially, I think, 10 sessions a week, every single solitary week, multiple a day, with either myself, the CEO, members of my marketing team, other members of our staff, where we teach our customers the ins and the outs of how to do all of this stuff. We allow them to ask questions. They're in community with their peers, all of who are struggling to market consistently, right? That still wasn't enough, because what would happen is that I would be like, okay, everybody get ready. We're running a sale for Mother's Day. Here's what we're going to do. Everybody get ready, go. And I'd be like, okay, you guys going to do everything? You know what I would get? A bunch of yes. Oh, yeah, Patrick, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I did it. I did everything. I got it all done. No, they didn't. They barely did anything. They barely did anything, right? Or they changed the language, or they got in their own way. And that is continuing the battle that we've been fighting Our newest product, though, the logo for it is behind me, which is, it's just our logo with the little wings. We created this thing called Copilot, and it's really, really interesting, and it's utterly, totally, and completely groundbreaking. It's just this. So because we have your images, and because we have your website, and because we have control of your website, we then get all of your email addresses and put them into our ESP. ESP is just email service provider, like MailChimp, Constant Contact, ActiveCampaign, that. Now we have all of your emails. Then we connect to your Facebook page, and then we connect to your Instagram account, and we are now posting for our customers on their behalf. It's an extra service. It's not included with the base level service, and running the sales. So I'll send emails on their behalf. I'll put the coupon code into their store. I'll adjust the announcement bar at the top, do all the social posts that dovetail with that, and then turn all of that off and go back to normal after the fact. And that's been really, really interesting because for the first time in my customers' lives, they're marketing consistently. They're not ever missing days under any circumstances because we never miss. They're going on vacation and the marketing is still being done. Life happens and the marketing is still being done. And do you know what's crazy about it? It's working. It's working because none of you guys have ever been consistent on your marketing in your entire damn lives. And what's crazy about it is, like, this is another one of these vicious cycles, okay? Let me know if this sounds familiar to any of you guys, okay? You create this body of work. You don't know how to market. You don't market. You don't show it into enough eyeballs to even know whether or not it'll sell. Then you get tired of it, and you're like, that stuff's done. Let me move on to the next inspiration. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. It just keeps happening and happening. And so why do I bring that up? Inevitably, you guys only ever promote your most recent stuff. You don't ever really usually go back to the old stuff, right? And no one saw the old stuff. You don't even know if it's going to sell. And so one of the interesting side effects of, doing Copilot now, and I should say we post 45 times a week on our customers' behalf. Sometimes more than that. And so we're rotating through their entire catalog on a regular basis, showing these images, talking about them. And obviously, their following continues to grow. And a lot of folks who thought oh my gosh, I don't even like that work. I haven't shown that work in years. It's starting to sell. And it's starting to sell because they finally got it in front of enough eyeballs, right? Which you never did beforehand. And, one of the things that I fundamentally learned in this business that I don't think enough people talk about is art sales to me are 50-50. They are 50% the quality of the art itself, and then they are 50% who is the artist, what makes them tick. Are they a dog person? Are they a cat person? Did they grow up in California? Did they grow up in New Jersey? Right? Do they like working out? Are they a foodie? Do they, who are you? What makes you tick? And so the big thing that we're focusing on now is trying to get our customers to share a little bit more. And no, I'm not saying you have to be a Kardashian and invite a reality TV crew into your house, but I need to know a little bit about you, okay? What makes you tick and what makes you interesting? And you have to shine a little window on who you are and where that creative eye came from and what all that means, right? And very, very few of you guys do enough of that. Like, if I come to your Instagram profile and all I see are images of your art, you have failed. You have failed because I don't know who you are. I don't know what makes you tick. I don't know why you're interesting. I have no way of bonding to you, okay? And human beings, we are emotional creatures, and we make buying decisions based on commonality, right? Like, what do you have in common that might be interesting that I like? So that's everything that we do, and it is a nonstop battle. And, even my customers, it's still a nonstop battle because you guys all treat your marketing like a New Year's resolution, right? January rolls along. You go to the gym 4 days a week. Awesome. March comes and you haven't been once all year, right? Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And you don't ever get that time back. You don't ever get that time back. So Copilot's helping with the folks that are on it not missing those days anymore. And then trying to get them to share a little bit more and start to be comfortable on video and realize none of us are Hollywood actors. We all have messy houses. None of us have hair and makeup. It doesn't matter. People like real people. Share a little bit, right? So that's sort of what makes us different. Asatar, go ahead. I know if I said your name right.
Yeah. Hey, so I have a question just about, it seems like there's a big focus on prints, photography, wall hanging stuff. I know you said earlier you should have some stuff that's not wall hanging. Mm-hmm. Hardly any of my stuff's wall hanging. And I talked to somebody from our fronts, and and they're basically like, we're probably not going to be a great fit for you. So I don't know. What advice do you have
What are
for me?
what are you selling? Is it sculpture?
Yeah, you can see some of it in the background. I
Mm-hmm.
make furniture, I make sculpture, I make
Mm-hmm.
stuff out of wood, metal, stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know why they do that. Like it happened last week too, and I got in a fight with one of them. I'm like, stop saying that. They're just e-commerce sites at the end of the day. Are they utterly, totally, and completely geared towards selling wall art and have a suite of features? Yeah, but guess what? My customers sell all kinds of things: books, music, CDs, the merch, classes, online classes, tours. Because everyone has like such a varied revenue department, and for me, it doesn't matter. Like all of you guys, small businesses have a marketing problem. Everyone, every single solitary industry. And for me, our marketing education is really, really good. The support is really, really good. The accountability is really, really good. Occasionally I have to yell and get into some bribery, whatever it takes. But I know, like, let me put it this way. I've been running 3 of these sessions essentially a week since before the pandemic. And I routinely get people on here in their 90s asking me questions about how to market their art, right? And I look at that as someone that's been at this for a while, and it's like, my goodness. If you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life, do you know how much time all of you guys have left to get this right? Like, if you can just get focused on regular and consistent marketing, you do it for a year, you are better than 98% of the artists and photographers that are out there because they never will, right? And every single solitary year, it compounds. So I don't think it's a bad fit for furniture people or sculptors. I know they'll give you a little bit of the push away. The difference, though, is that, and this actually infuriates me to some degree, and I get in a little bit of trouble on this because we have transaction fees on our site, right? And what ends up happening is our smart artists, who I love, by the way, don't run any of their transactions through the website. They follow my advice. You know what my advice is? Get on the damn phone and get on a damn Zoom with every single solitary prospective art buyer you have. Do it. It is the single solitary best use of your time that possibly exists. Why did I bring all that up? Sculpture, okay, to which you're sort of adhering to, furniture a little bit, it's more of an in-person sale than an online sale, especially when the price points go up above a certain point, right? So you leverage the site a little bit differently than many of my customers do. Despite my advice, my customers still want to hide behind the digital wall and just hope it all goes, right? Because that's like the dream of passive income, which is the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard in my entire life. We advertise a ton on social media, right? And I get a ton of comments like, we're the successful artists. Like we're these amazing artists that Art Storefronts has made so successful, right? And it sort of infuriates me on some level because it implies that somehow some service makes artists, successful, which, no service makes artists successful. But there's a kernel of truth in it in the sense that, like, why are we not interviewing some of our most successful customers? And so I started doing that recently, and I'm pulling this one kid up because I want to make you aware of him. So this kid's name's Jonah. He's 29 years old now, and on his good months, he's selling about $100,000 of his photography every single solitary month. He signed up with us, I guess 5 years ago now. I'm going to put a link to this in the chat. And so I interviewed him recently, and what's really, really interesting is like his pieces. He's got books and lower price point stuff, and he now has his own gallery in Florida. But he gets on the phone with every single solitary person that purchases his work. He doesn't even want you to go to the website. In fact, like the whole entire time he's been with us, I don't think he's sold a single solitary original directly on his website. He gets on the phone with the end buyer every single solitary time. So I think that's a very, very smart strategy. That is what I would do if I were in your shoes. Let me tell you, I already know you don't have a volume of transactions going down that you don't have the time to do it. You have the time to do it, and it is the most valuable thing to do. So largely with sculptors especially, which I'm kind of looping you in with sculptors for the time being, like those are bigger sales, usually higher price point, more specific. Like they want to get on the phone with you. They want to say they know you. They want to say they have the relationship. So when you leverage our websites to a more consultative sales process rather than just the quick checkout, I think that can be extremely valuable. You know what I mean? Like extremely valuable. And so that's one of the things that I advocate more and more and more of my customers do. And oh, by the way, why do you think I'm on video 5 days a week? You think it's for my health? I hate it. But I'm cognizant of the fact that, like, what is the alternative of having a session like today? how many more emails would I have had to send you, right? How many more stupid blog posts to try to get you to read, right? Like there is nothing more effective than getting on a damn video call and talking to someone. The fact that we have this technology now is absolutely insane. Like, what is the best way to sell art? In person, face to face. Always has been, always will be. What is the next best way? We are doing it right now. We are doing it right now. It is just a far more effective form. So I like moving into that type of a consultative approach. You don't have to do it with all of your sales, right? Because inevitably you're going to have some cheaper items, especially if you listen to my advice on pricing. So that's sort of the approach, how I talk about it anyway. Because even I even go as far as to say too, like, we don't do a very good job as a business, like truly articulating all the value that we provide. I think we need to get a little bit better at that. But when you stack us up against our competitors, like, it's everything that happens after the website. You can get a website anywhere. Websites have become commodities. It's like all of these competitors are just all chasing themselves to the bottom of the drain on how low the monthly fee is. But you know, there are stats from Shopify, for instance, which Shopify is just giant e-commerce company. If you haven't heard of it, it's, you know, technically you could call it a competitor. Some people go over there and do it. But the sheer number of cancellations that they get, you know, people that sign up and then the business doesn't go anywhere, it's not because Shopify is not a great product. Shopify is a great product. It's because they don't have any damn marketing help or support after the fact. And no one comes to the website if you don't have it, right? So my point is that you got to solve for the marketing. That is the real problem, right? And there's too many artists and photographers running around thinking that there's some sort of shortcut, right? Or I'm just going to throw my stuff up on Etsy. Yeah, let me know how that works out for you. I've talked to tens of thousands of photographers and artists, and I've heard of like one that's done well on Etsy. You know, everyone else, it's like, oh yeah, I got a sale here or there, but that's it. Anyway, keep going.
Can I ask a follow-up question
Please.
just about list building?
Yes.
I mean, just like for me, since my stuff is kind of, you know, expensive,
Yeah.
I had a thought just to build a list. I haven't like launched my website yet, but you know, my question is, does it make sense to do like a giveaway? You know, like
100%.
give away a big ticket item every month, let's
100%.
say.
1,000%. And like, I'm the king of this.
Yeah.
I am not kidding when I say I'm the king of this. I'm not, you know, pulling my own horn. So 50 on here, the podcast, I want you to write these down. Listen to number 55 and number 56. Okay. 55 is smart artists don't run ads. Instead, they do this. And I introduced a concept that I call the loop. Okay. And then number 56 is supercharging the loop. Okay. Why did I bring that up? One, I don't even want to know how many tens of millions, probably over 100 million of Facebook ads, okay? I understand what advertising is and how that looks. It doesn't work for artists and photographers. It doesn't work for a number of different reasons that I don't want to get into. The loop is just this. You offer some sort of a giveaway in which in return you get email addresses, right? You set some sort of duration where you're going to announce the winner. You hold up the thing. You talk about the thing. After you announce the winner, that is an email that everyone opens because they want to find out whether or not they won, right? You say,
Right.
Congratulations to so-and-so. For everyone else, I don't ever win anything either. So take 15% off store-wide for the next 48 hours is a way for me of saying thanks, okay? So that's the loop. And I have my customers run it all the time. It works in all sorts of situations, okay? And just, I mean, you know, every single solitary time my customers do a Thayer show, I have them use the fishbowl. Enter your business card to win a free print, right? Or fill out the clipboard or whatever. If I were left to my own devices and like somebody put a gun to my head and said, you need to create a 6-figure art business as quickly as possible, go, I would run one a week. I would rotate through all of my different products. I would do it on merch. I would do it on a print. I would do it on a bigger print. I would go through all those things. Where it becomes a chicken in the egg scenario, though, okay, is you have 5 followers on Instagram, your mom and your 4 buddies from college. You have 3 people on your email list, right? And no one knows you're an artist. Okay, well then how are you going to run the loop, right? Because if you have to get it in front of new eyeballs, right? And so if you don't have any new eyeballs, there becomes a chicken and an egg scenario. That's where I get into this notion of supercharging the loop, okay? And let me do a for instance, like, what would I do in your case? I'll make it specific about you. Let's say, okay, let's do this. So, what is the furniture? Is it office related, home? Like, what rooms does it go into? Give me an example.
You can actually see some of it in the background. I have a shelf unit, which is what this thing sort of is.
Mhm.
I have the lamp is one of mine. I make benches. It's in the kind of organic, modern wabi sabi that type
Yep.
type of vein. I make chairs, tables.
Okay, so let's use the light as an example. Okay, so and what do you impute your cost to be on that light? Just back in the napkin is fine.
Um, I don't know. For that one, I use a lot of reclaimed stuff, but let's say it's $100.
Okay, so it costs you $100. So what I would do is I would make 10 of them, and I realized they're all unique, reclaimed wood. I get that, and then I would go into Instagram, and I would spend about 2-3 days doing homework on some of the biggest interior designers that seem to really like my wabi sabi style. Okay, and I would find ones that have an upwards of 50 to 450,000 followers on Instagram, maybe a couple million. And then I would get a list of about 50 of them, and I would write all of them a list like this, just saying like, hey, first of all, you have to follow all of them, so it looks like you've been following them for a while. And then you write them a message and you say, hey, up and coming artist, trying to make it out there. Love your page, love your following. Would you ever have any interest in doing a giveaway? Here's a light I made. I'd be happy to let you give this away to your audience, for an at mention or for, the hardest thing to do is to get them to have the conversation because they're all very busy people. They built huge followings as a result. But the ones that are just like creating content, and really trying, like, they would love to do something like that, right? So the whole goal of it is just to get a conversation started. And I don't want to go too in depth into it because you are going to go and listen to this number 56, and I have the entire tactical thing step by step. I'm not kidding; it's on here. So listen to that. And the idea is that you get one of those folks that has 450,000 followers to say, like, you know what? I like this lamp. My followers would really like this lamp. Let's do it, right? Ideally, you want to get emails out of it. But quite frankly, if they're cool, all you care about is the at mention, right? So you could potentially go on there, all right, make the deal with him. He announces the giveaway, let's just say on a Monday, and he's going to end it on a Friday. People are leaving, all of his followers are leaving comments. How cool is this light? How cool is this light? How cool is this light? He at mentions you because you decided to make it easy. So now they can click and see your profile. And then on his post, you're going hand to hand on all the comments. Every single solitary one. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Oh, that's incredible. Yeah, I've got them. If you're interested in one, let me know. Yeah, I make them such and such like this, right? You could do one of those, okay? And in a single exercise, get thousands of emails, generate a couple of sales. And then if you create the partnership, you can go back to the well again and again and again and again in the future, right? So it's essentially just using that giveaway concept. And the way that you have to change your thinking, update your mental software is all that is you doing is a more effective boost post button. Instead of giving the money to Zuckerberg, you're giving it away for free, but it's just an ad. That's what it is. It's just an ad.
Yeah. No, I think you're talking about the most effective way to spend $100, right?
Essentially, yes. Yeah. I mean, is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing, but what I'm saying is like, yes, it's your work. Yes, you're giving it away. But what I'm saying, don't think of it like that. That is just an ad that you're running. When you run this technique that I'm talking about, that's just you spending money on advertising. And guess what? All businesses have to spend money on advertising, right? Unless you're like Tesla, which even they've started spending on advertising recently, I heard. So there's that.
Yeah, no, that's a really good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Now I got to go find out what Wabi Sabi is, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that afterwards. That's what Google on the internet machine is all about. So I'll get that going. All right. Who else has questions? Cool. Awesome. Thanks, Sen. It's a nice comment. John's got his hand up again. John, go ahead. Are you there, John? I don't know if he's still here. Yeah, bye, Carol. I should mention I recorded this entire thing, and I'm going to send everybody a replay, and it'll have links to all the resources and bells and whistles and everything that I talked about. So for those that have to go, no worries. You will get an email, shortly after this with the replay and everything else. But who else, guys? Comments, questions, concerns? Fourth quarter is coming. No matter what you guys decide to do, sign up, not sign up. You got to start making some noise right now, letting people know that you exist and that you have art for sale, and be ready to run sales. When I was a kid, like I said, things used to be civilized. We would all have Thanksgiving with our families. It'd be really nice, and then the shopping would start the day after that. Then some enterprising guy in the marketing department, I can relate, was like, if we move our sale up 1 week, will be able to get first crack at all the dollars before everyone else does. So then there was a pre-Black Friday sale. And now it's like October 1st hits and boom, right? The frenzy just begins and it's crazy. And anytime like the giant retailers, all the big box stores, right? Your Best Buys and your Targets and, all those sites, your Walmarts, like anytime those guys all the way up to Amazon, all the way up to all the others start running crazy ads, which they do in the fourth quarter, like we just want to take advantage of their massive ad spend because it whips everyone into a frenzy. So that's what I got. That's a very interesting question. I don't get those often. This is the first time I've gotten a faith-based one, Benita, and I appreciate that. And yeah, I would mention my faith on my pages if it was important to me, right? If you wanted to make that a major part of who you are. And, it's funny, right? Because you don't have to, right? But if you're passionate about it and you want to make that a big part of who you are, then do it, right? What I don't like is, the folks that come to me, and the last two times that this was a big thing was Ukraine, okay, and Black Lives Matter coming up. And they're like, should I put that stuff into my bio and talk about it all the time and do a piece and donate it? And I'm like, are you just riding the bandwagon short term, or can you find Ukraine on a map? Then don't, right? Like, have you been advocating for social justice and Black Lives Matter for the last 40 years? Then don't. Like, people can smell frauds from a million miles away. So if you want to own it, then do it, right? But make it be intentional and don't make it be like some shot in the arm thing for like one little quick thing here or there. Which is not to say I'm not for giving to charity and donating. 100% I am, and I love that. Even if you publish it, which is, let's be honest, it's not really selflessly giving. If you're getting credit for it, there's something in return. But still, it's a nice gesture, and we could certainly use more of those. So that's what I would say. All right, what else, guys? Any finals before we wrap it up? Could be anything about anything. Otherwise, I will send you guys, like I said, the aforementioned follow-up. I hope that you will listen to my podcast. If you want to find out more information about what we do, very easy. Like I said, the demo buttons, and then you have to fill out the annoying form. I know, I don't like it, but then you get on a Zoom call, and they'll show you all our plans, all our packages, everything else. There is still time, if you do sign up, to get up, running, and ready for the fourth quarter, okay, which is very, very important. And, that's what I say. Yeah, well, then, Benita, stick with it, Like, if it's your faith and you love it, like, by all means, celebrate it. I'm totally cool with that, and not for nothing, but people like doing business, right, with members of their faith, for sure. So I certainly don't think it's a bad thing. And also, too, like, you guys are so damn melodramatic about things. You don't realize, like, ask yourself this. If I'm going to make a decision like that, okay, in Benita's case, putting her faith on her profile, ask yourself whether or not it's a reversible decision. If it's a reversible decision, do it. Do it. Give it a go. You could throw it up there for a year. It could be Benita the Christian, or Benita the Muslim, or Benita the Jew, whatever you are, right? And see how it goes. If you feel like it's off-putting or it's affecting the business and you want to take it down, you change your mind, take it down. Reversible decision. Zero problem whatsoever, right? Like, if it's a reversible decision, do not belabor the point and spend so much time trying to think about it, which you guys all do on a regular basis. We all do it as humans, I think, to a certain extent. Overthinking, overanalyzing, and then never taking the next step. Like, is this a reversible decision? Yeah. Raise all of your prices 50% today. Leave it up for a year. Leave it up for a week. You can put them right back down. No one saw it anyway, right? So that's what I would say. John, just Google the book. Don't Be a Starving Artist by Weiland. And you can get a link to it. It's a very, very good book. I think Weiland's a best-selling artist in the United States, quite frankly, and I don't even think it's close. A lot of that has to do with how many different revenue sources he has and the fact that he owns all of his own galleries rather than, he's not selling in galleries and paying those ridiculous 50% rack rates. But, yeah, that's what I've got. Well, I appreciate all of you. Hope you guys learned something, got some value out of it. Yeah, and I think we leave it there. I will send you guys the replay. Hope to see you on a future session or on the inside. I hope all of you guys do some marketing right now between Q4, whether you sign up or not, and get the art up and see what happens. It's like the credit card is doing like 5x cash back, right? For the next 3 months. It just is, right? Like the rest of the time it gives you 1 mile for $1 spent. Now it's giving you 5 miles for every dollar you spend. It's like, booster time. So I want you guys fired up and doing it, because most people wake up like with 1 week to go till Thanksgiving, and they have to go out shopping and get ready, and they're like, oh, I forgot. I should run a sale. No, it's too late. No one even knows you exist. Don't do that, right? It's still better than no sale, but you get my point. Make a little noise first. But appreciate all you guys. Hope you have wonderful weeks, and thanks for spending some time with me today. Bye now.